Nobody wants to see this happen to the man. Okay,
I don't know how many times
conspiracy.
I have to come on this program and talk in front of my electronic device and try to convince myself mentally that the city is not cursed.
Let's
I don't
ship
know.
that. Let's ship Dorsey out of town. Okay, like Buffalo.
Cleveland Browns faithful, welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. It's Jeffrey, your host, Robert, your co-host, with me here again tonight. We're going to be reacting after the Browns fall to 1-6 after another just sad loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, this weekend, this Sunday. I don't even know where to go. I'm pretty much a loss for words here. Just the overall direction of the game, everything that happened, Watson injury, everything that divulged after that. I have Robert with me here again. He was in attendance for this game, so I just want to open the floor to him. We're going to go to a clip to Myles Garrett for Myles Garrett post game eventually, but just want to open the floor to him. How was everything down there? What was your experience like down there?
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey. It was it was somber walking in. It wasn't as exciting as normally walking into Huntington Bank Field. Um, and of course, we all know what happened on the opening kickoff. I was excited that we would defer. Um, uh, Let me back up a second. The announcement of Nick Chubb
Yep.
was very exciting.
Yep.
When we weren't sure if they were going to announce the offense or the defense because of the fact that not too many people like Deshaun Watson. So of course there were heavy boos for Deshaun. But then when they announced Nick Chubb, that was the most excitement that the building has seen in a while. Then, of course, Hopkins kicks off, and for some reason, which we don't know yet, he couldn't get the ball in the end zone, and we all know what happens. Uh, it was like the parting of the Red Sea,
Yep.
and Hopkins tried a little Olay bullshit, and that guy went 100 yards, and effectively the game was over. We'll go on and we'll talk about the game, but can you play a clip for the audience, Neff?
Yeah, let's do this clip. But before I've sitting here and I have found a summary because I've never seen an organization, a pro sports organization, be able to create despair like this team can. I'm glad that you brought up Chubb because that's all today should have been about. Nick Chubb returns, he scores a touchdown, win, lose or draw. We could at least find solace in that.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Watson injury, the reaction from the
Yeah.
fans, the controversy in the fan base, and it's all somehow it's a divisive toxic relationship.
Absolutely. But before we get to the clip, I was happy to see when we did get the football. Everybody assumed that the first play he was going to get the football, but because Stefanski's a genius, he didn't. And Watson tried to throw the ball to him. It was a bad pass. Okay, but I was very excited that we finally saw two things: the quarterback under center, and what else did we see? Play action passing today.
Yep.
Although it wasn't effective, but it was also something that used to worked very well. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to go to Myles Garrett here, talking about the fans' reaction to Deshaun Watson's Achilles injury in the first half of this contest. Let's roll it.
The reaction that the fans get, whether it's an opponent that goes down or one of our own, we don't boo. We don't boo guys that are injured on the field, especially with the extent where the card comes out. We should be ashamed of ourselves, as Browns and as fans to boo anyone and their downfall.
All right, you were there. Walk me through the injury and everything that transpired.
Okay, so Miles, we love you. Of course, let me say this: we love you. So, being in the stands when that first happened, now obviously we had no idea it was that bad. When that first happened, there was an air of excitement in the field. People were, yes, they were excited. There was a chance of DTR, okay? And then all of a sudden, I start getting text messages from yourself, from my son, and then we see the cart come out. So, where I will disagree with Miles Garrett, Jameis Winston, that was all heartfelt. Where I will disagree is we had no idea how serious it was until the cart came out. Folks, let me say this. I've been on the pulse several times. We've all been bitching and moaning about Deshaun Watson. We've all had we don't think he's given effort, blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to see this happen to the man, okay? Yep. Nobody that was in the stadium today, yes, we were cheering for him to get benched. We were cheering for, yes, but nobody was cheering for him to get hurt, okay? So I will disagree with the players when that happened. It was an unfortunate situation. We were driving, we were moving the football. It was a designed run. And it just, I've now seen the replay at home, since I've been home. It's not pretty to watch. But, and hearing these guys say, oh, he was a model citizen since college and all that other, that's bullshit. Let's not be, we know he wasn't a model citizen. It was an ugly situation. And, people, and let me say this, everybody was kind of stunned. So when the cart came out, anytime a cart comes out and they take someone off, we were cheering because everybody cheers when they take someone off the field.
Yes.
At that point, Jeffrey,
acknowledging the athlete after the secondary cheer, and I get it. There were audible cheers when he went down. No one's discounting how a former teammate and another player is going to feel about this, because you're out there, you're playing for your livelihood. Myles Garrett and Jameis Winston are just saying, if that happened to me, this is how I would be feeling. We understand that. In typical Browns fashion, Watson, there was really no complaints from Watson up into this point of the game. He was on pace for his probably the best game that he's played all year. And then this happens. Like you said, we were driving. The difference here is and I think this is a uniquely North American, Western hemisphere type of a thing, especially for dedicated sports fans. We need a boogeyman. Somebody, there's regardless, sports, anywhere in your life, there's always, okay, who can we blame about this, regardless of what we're viewing, consuming, anything. That's kind of just how the human nature is wired in our society to an extent. You said it, and obviously I concur. No one is out there rooting for an injury, but when and some of the fan base genuinely doesn't like the guy for their reasons, which very well are valid. That's fine. We want the team to win. We want the team to play good. It's not that we want somebody to do bad or that we want somebody to be hurt and injured, never play again. We look and watch the games and say, can this team just win football games? And when it came to the quarterback situation, that seemed like the obvious, elephant in the room. Right. So
Jeffrey,
I get it.
If I could say something about him playing well, being there at the game, Cincinnati they were putting 8 guys in the box. They weren't going to let us run the football. He was still not, he cannot, and I don't want to kick the man when he's down because it's over. He's not playing anymore this year. But to see him play live, to see that happen today live,
Mhm.
he cannot make progressions. I mean, there's guys open. If I could have taken taken videos with my phone, guys are open, and he's throwing immediately to the check. And I think I even texted you that one pass to Elijah Moore. It was a little mesh. If he was 2 seconds late, even to that, if he would have hit Elijah Moore 2 seconds earlier, that mesh would have been over the middle. Instead, by time Moore got it, he ran into the sidelines.
Yes.
It's little stuff like that that maybe, and what the hell do we know? If we see that just from playing Madden and coaching coaching kids in second grade,
Mhm.
that's, so we move on from that. Okay. It's unfortunate. We know the media is going to be maybe Stefanski was right. Maybe Stefanski wasn't lying, Jeffrey. Maybe what,
Maybe we were the ones mistaken there. Maybe we were coming on a week ago and saying that Watson gives you the best chance to win. And it's interesting that you say that, because the systemic issues, unfortunately, were glaring the rest of the game, because multiple times, and this has happened, I feel like, with every quarterback Stefanski has called plays for. You see the play, and the play is, for example, the fourth down play. That was an extremely well schemed up play. Nick Chubb is standing there right wide open, nobody within 3 yards of him at the marker. And all DTR had to do, an athletic young quarterback, was make evade one guy. He didn't even have to make a miss. They chipped him multiple times. He had to go through 2 or 3 guys. He was not like he was unabated on the right, coming off the right-hand side, and make a touch pass throw. DTR couldn't do it. That, along with plenty of other plays in the game, was a huge momentum swing where we give Cincinnati the ball back.
Right. And how many times do we have to get these illegal shift? I mean, we don't get set up right. I mean, it's sickening. We're the offensive. It's sickening the way that we are undisciplined. It's sad.
Or just miss blocks.
Oh, miss block. Jedrick Wills. I mean, put a tackling dummy out there. Put a tackling dummy out there. You got a better chance. I mean, he looks so disinterested out there. He stands there. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't help his teammates up. He just kind of talk about mailing it in. We thought Deshaun was mailing it in. This guy's really, I don't know, but. And here's to segue a little bit.
Please do.
Tomorrow, I can't wait to hear what Stefanski's going to say, because if we want to win football games, I think you could put a highlight package together and we could show it on the Pulse, nephew. Jameis Winston has probably thrown for 30,000. How many yards has he thrown for? He's won football games.
A lot.
If Jameis Winston could move the football on this team, but you're going to hear, we want to see what DTR can do. DTR looked bad. If this is your second year, I don't want to hear about rookie mistakes anymore. He looked bad today. He looked rusty. So now if we're gonna see what the hell DTR could do, then if we're going to see what DTR can do, what the hell are you going to be, 1-16?
I have to give DTR a slight benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, I'm still going to bitch, because what kind of organizational failure does it say, regardless of how you feel about the entirety of the situation of what happened in between the lines today? Watson is obviously your starting quarterback all week, getting first team reps. You're telling me 20 minutes before the game, even though Winston took second team reps all week.
Did you hear the bullshit? Did you hear the bullshit excuse?
No. What was the excuse?
Oh, they didn't have, for Cincinnati, they didn't have the short yardage package that for Winston in place. So they just felt that it was it was better to have DTR.
Regardless of the injury, something's fishy about the whole Winston DTR situation, and of course, that happens pregame, and then Watson gets hurt. It almost felt like I don't know how many times I have to come on this program and talk in front of my electronic device and try to convince myself mentally that the city is not cursed. It almost felt like they were placing a curse on Deshaun Watson because all right, 20, we're going to scratch him. You have this quarterback controversy in the back room, and then Watson has a season-ending injury. It's like, where else does this happen on planet Earth?
When I got the text message 20 minutes before kickoff that DTR was the backup and Winston was inactive, I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I knew something wasn't right then and there.
So what's your assessment? Let's go through a little. We got 4 or 5 minutes left here. Let's go through let's go through a little thought process. What does Stefanski say tomorrow, and who's the starter?
Well,
and does it matter? It doesn't matter because let's say, is Winston the starter if you think you could salvage the season? I don't know why you could think that. Or is DTR, like if you start DTR, we're basically throwing in the towel.
Okay. I think if you go with the theory best chance to win, it's Jameis Winston, okay? But if you're looking for the future of the team, it's DTR. But we don't know we haven't heard about DTR's injury, first of all. Second of all, now I saw the kid play today. He does give you the excitement factor, but with that, he may get himself killed. So you don't know if DTR is going to make it against the Ravens. He's certainly not Lamar Jackson. So if he runs like that and tries to run and jump, he may not make it out of the first half against the Ravens. Right. So Barry better be on the phone with somebody, somebody who's sitting on a bench somewhere that we can call, and even at 1-6, because somebody's going to have to take snaps. Who knows? I can't wait to see what Stefanski says tomorrow. I can't even guess. But if my gut says they're probably going to give the ball, what do you think?
If we weren't 1-6, like hypothetically, let's say we were like 2 even if we were 2-5 or 3-4, I think they'd be calling Ryan Tannehill. Stefanski guru out of somewhere. They'd go to Winston first.
Why didn't Miami call? Miami, why didn't they call?
Maybe
Tannehill?
I don't. But you know how it goes. So we just did this last year. with the Joe Flacco. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't have mattered. And at the end of the conversation, it doesn't matter if we kept Joe Flacco around at this juncture because 1-6, it doesn't matter. But
Jesus Christ can't help this team right now.
Correct. And if they go on an 11-game winning streak, I don't even know what I would do. I don't even know. They're not going to, but that's the moral of the story. I still think you're back to the Haslams. I still think it's a Haslam decision. I think if you see DTR play, the Haslams are calling the shots. This is going to be, I'm very excited for tomorrow's press conference, and maybe we'll do a little roundup of it like we did last week.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Because if DTR is the starter, Barry and Stefanski, to me, go to 0% control. They have 0% combined control because Winston is the guy who's going to win football games for you.
Yes.
But what? The Haslams have some crystal ball where they foresee that Watson's getting hurt today. They scratch Winston late, and then DTR has to come in as a second guy in a situation that was salvageable, 7-6. Yeah. So I mean, what happens to this game if that doesn't all happen pregame? Winston comes in right away. Do we win the ball game? Tough to tell. Tough to tell. Absolutely is tough, but I don't know.
Because I've said all along, Winston can move the football. He may throw interceptions, but Winston will command the huddle.
DTR is going to throw interceptions anyway.
But Winston will move the football.
Yes.
Can somebody put a highlight? Could
Got
somebody
20,000 career passing yards.
Okay, could somebody put that highlight reel together and send it, give it to me, and I'll deliver it to Berea, to Stefanski, that moron Dorsey. Do we know where Dorsey's at?
Was Deep Podesta on the sidelines today?
Oh God, let's ship Dorsey out of town, okay? Like Buffalo, all I think of in my head is
Bubba
Dorsey
Ventrone, too.
Dorsey banging on the desk on Monday Night Football. And look at Buffalo. They're scoring points. Josh Allen he's on my fantasy team. They're running roughshod, and we got Dorsey here in Cleveland. What the hell is wrong with us?
And the funniest part, Uncle, before we wrap up here, they finally, I've been waiting for some broadcast, the interns, the graphic design team, whoever's doing the production meeting, finally show it today. They had a graphic. I took pictures of it. They had a graphic of our position coaches last year.
Oh,
grade them out, and then all the new position coaches this year. 5 new position coaches.
They're all the F. I mean, we what on offense? We lost it.
Andy Dickerson, your offensive line coach from Bill Callahan.
That's the biggest downgrade. Where the hell is poor Stump Mitchell? Just the beard itself.
The aura.
The aura. Listen, Josh Cribbs and the post game, they were talking about it today. That is such a big drop off that you're losing those guys. I mean, and poor Bill Callahan, he had no choice. He's got to go with his son.
Right.
But I mean, give me Alex Van Pelt back. We thought Alex Van Pelt was tits on a boar hog. We need him back.
Oh man. Final thoughts here. Final thoughts here.
Okay, Mike. The final thoughts.
Send us
off. Cleveland sports will always make our blood pressure high.
Yep.
But you know what? We persevere. We love them. I don't know what the hell we do without them. We'll be back at it tomorrow, folks. I'm sure Stefanski is going to give us something to say.
Absolutely. He it's impossible for him not to at this point. But I love your sentiment. I wish I could say we'll just band together, but after some events that unfolded today, it's becoming increasingly more difficult for various reasons. So we're going to be back. It's not like the show doesn't go on. 1 in 6 or 1 in 16, 17.
We'll figure out where we're going to get a victory.
We'll talk about it. It's
always a pleasure talking with you.
Of course. If you guys are liking it, make sure you hit the like button. Keep commenting down below. We've been appreciating your support. It's been through the roof. Absolutely amazing stuff. Make sure you're subscribed. And we'll be back real soon. But we appreciate you being the pulse of it all. Peace.